Alright bros, welcome to the hotkeys part of the guide. Basically here I'll talk about hotkeys, how to put your Meepos into different control groups, what you should do, what you shouldn't do with those control groups, and how to blink poof and do things like that. This is probably the most requested guide for me that I have ever had on my stream. People always ask me to show them my control groups. I think they only like me for my control groups, guys. Anyways, let's get to it. Alright, so this is all you need to know about my control groups at the start. Take a good look at this and like either print screen it or something. I'm gonna leave it here for a while, or just remember it. I don't care. Guys, the most important thing is that you do not have to follow this exact pattern. Like you do not have to copy paste this. Find what's comfortable for you. For me, as I was a Warcraft 3 player, and as I played StarCraft 2 and as I played a lot of RTS games, I had to put my control groups on 1, 2, 3 and 4. Even more if I was given the option. The thing is, in Warcraft 3 and StarCraft you usually use those control groups. They are usually on the numbers and you'll use the letters for the spells. And because of that, it kinda was only natural to me to keep it that way in Dota. Later on I kinda realized that those hotkeys I could have used for items, and it made it a bit harder for me because as you can see, my items are Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, Alt Q, Alt W, Alt T. So if I want to use any of my items, I need to press Alt 1. If I want to blink out, I need to press Alt and 3. Now also keep in mind that I'm not using quick casts, so that means that I'm 2 buttons, 2 clicks slower than someone that uses only one hotkey here and quick cast. If I want to blink out, I need to press Alt 3 and click, and if he wants to blink out, he just needs to press let's say 3, and that's it, and point the mouse in his direction. That is kinda disadvantageous for me, but it really does help me out with micro-intense heroes that I love to play, like Chen Enchantress, Enigma, I don't know, whatever, Beastmaster. Because of that, I really like to keep it this way, even though I have contemplated on changing it many times. But that doesn't matter. You don't have to keep it this way, as I've told you before. Like, just do whatever is comfortable for you. But what is really important is that you set these control groups and that you do not just tab through your units, like you select all other units and just tab through them. I really dislike that because it prevents you from being able to maximize your micro control over your Meepos. Because when you have control groups, you can select different Meepos, different groups of Meepos, and when you have select all other units, you can only select all other units and tab through them. But some people actually like it that way. I'm really against it, and I think that you should learn it this way. Alright, so let's start. As you can see, I have this control groups tab. It says group 1-1. What does it mean? A group 1-1. It means that if I select my hero and I press Control and 1, there you have it on the keyboard. As you can see, it's selected. If I press Control and 1, that hero is gonna become 1. And from now on, every time I press 1, that hero is selected. It doesn't matter if it's Meepo or anything else. If it's Lycan, let's say if it's Lycan, I press Control 1 when I'm holding mouse on, not holding your mouse, when you have your Lycan selected and you press Control 1, he's always gonna respond when I press 1. If I take his wolves, select both of the wolves, and I press Control 2, every time I summon the wolves, they're gonna be on control group 2, which is really neat, and it's really good for illusion based heroes such as Naga or Terrorblade too. Alright, so let's use this new knowledge in the game of Dota. In the case of Meepo. First things first, I'm gonna select my main Meepo here, and I'm gonna press Control 1. There you go. 1, 1, 1, 1. Every time I press 1, the camera goes on my main Meepo. Even if I move it like here somewhere, I'm watching someone else, and I figure out that I'm being ganked, whoop, 1, and I'm already here. I don't have to move my camera or anything like that. I don't even have to press space. Space is really good too, but no, this is much better. Like, it's much faster. Now, For the control groups of all the other Meepos, this is where the bullshittery begins. You're gonna see a lot of Meepo players tell you that they have every single Meepo selected in one control group, which means that his second Meepo is gonna be control group 2, his third Meepo gonna be control group 3, his fourth Meepo control group 4, his fifth Meepo control group 5.
What you have in mind?
Honestly, you can do it this way. If you wanna have full control over your Meepos, you can use it this way and use all other units too, and it's gonna be kinda alright. But keep in mind that you can get lost in your fights, and this is gonna be really hard for you for a very, very long period of time. And I actually think it's bad. It brings you just a lot of confusion, and as an RTS player, I understand that more groups are beneficial, but this many groups for just 5 units is definitely not. In Warcraft 3, you would control 24 units with 3 or 4 max control groups. And why would you have to use all these control groups for 5 Meepos is beyond me. What you can do, and what is gonna make your game a lot easier, is you press your main Meepo, you put him on control group 1, and he's gonna be control group 1 from now on, and you select all other Meepos that you get, and you press control group 2, and from now on they're gonna be control group 2. Alright? Alright. So, if I select 2 and move around, I'm gonna be moving these Meepos around. Also keep in mind that the Meepo that was selected here, he's gonna be the first one that does something, alright? He has these like circles, an extra circle circling around him. Basically it can be any Meepo. If you tab through them and you put it on the first one is gonna have an extra circle. If you tab again, you're gonna be selecting the second Meepo, and he's gonna have an extra circle. But LizZard, what are you talking about? What is this tab action that you're speaking of? Well, guys, to go through Meepos in one same control group, to go through units, any sort of units in one exact same control group, you use tab. Basically what this means is that I can cast multiple nets without selecting multiple Meepos, without going, okay, this Meepo is in control group 2, I'm gonna press 2, then I'm gonna Earthbind, then I'm gonna press 3, then I'm gonna Earthbind, then I'm gonna press 4, then I'm gonna Earthbind, blah 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 blah. Okay? Instead, what I do is I press control group 2, I press Earthbind tab, Earthbind tab, Earthbind tab, Earthbind tab. Or if I wanna poof, I press W tab, W tab, W tab, W tab, as you can see on the keyboard, which makes it a lot easier, and this is where the fun starts. Basically, this is where you figure out, that's how you do it, you cheeky breaky, now I know how to play Meepo. Yeah, this is pretty simple. So, if I wanna poof on this Meepo, my main one, which is gonna be which is the thing that you will want to be doing most of the time, because your main Meepo is gonna have blink, and we'll talk about it in a second. Basically, if I wanna poof on this Meepo with all the 4 other Meepos, I press control group 2, I don't move my camera away from here, and then I do W tap, W tap, W tap, W tap, poof, 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 and suddenly all the Meepos appeared. If I wanna do it faster, I do it a bit faster, and then they look like they appeared here immediately. You can use also unified unit controls, I think, but I just do not use that, so I cannot tell you anything about it. Basically, it means that if you select all your Meepos and you press a button, you can poof with all of them at the same time. I don't know exactly how it works, but why I don't know exactly how it works is because it's been changed, and also if you use it, you lack the ability to actually poof only 2 Meepos, let's say, and not all of them. So if I move this Meepo here and I want to poof only the first and the second clone, I press W tab, and only the first and the second. If I want to join them in with the 4th clone, I press tab so many times that I get him selected, and then I join in. Look at this. This guy is here, left alone, he's crying, and he's gonna go back to Fountain to his mommy. I don't care. Anyways, what this means is that if this guy was weak, like low HP or something like that, you could skip him from the poofing cycle. One more thing, we're gonna now include shift. What shift does is, if I have control group 2 made only out of my second Meepo, so this is my control group 2 now. If I wanna add these two guys to the group, I select them, or just one guy, let's say just one guy. I select him and then I press shift and 2. Okay? From now on, both of them are in control group 2. This is very useful when you have just leveled and you got a new Meepo, so you add him to the group. If I want to add another one and another one, I select both of them with shift. Look at that, you can also do that without even assigning them to the group. So I selected this one, then I pressed shift and I selected this one, and now I have both of them. And it's basically like, I don't know, it's pretty logical. You use the shift like that anywhere, even in Microsoft Word or something, okay? So yeah, if I want to add them to this group, you press shift and 2 and they are in the group. And that's it. You have all of your Meepos there. But as in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or whatever, Notepad, you can do the same thing here when you want to get one Meepo out of the group. So let's say this guy is very weak and he's running to the base. How will I actually delete him from the group? One way is that I know that he's here. He's the one selected, he's the first one in the control group. You see? I'm pointing the mouse there. And then what I can do, without even looking at him, I press shift and I click on his portrait, and from now on he's not in the control group. Actually, he is if you just press shift. If you, like, let's say it's this guy now. If you press shift and you click on him, he's not selected anymore. But the next time you press the control group, he is going to be, okay? You did not make a new group, you did not get him out of the group, you just not out-selected, that's a bad word. You just did not select him. He's not in the selection anymore, let's say. Next time I press 2, he's again there. How do you deal with this? If I want to send this guy back home, but I also want to fight, and because of that fight I need a control group with only healthy Meepos while this weak one is running to the base. What I do is I press shift on him, I delete him from the group, and then I press control 2 to make a new group out of these 3 Meepos. Now he's running back home and I can easily poof all the 3 of my Meepos on my main one, start a fight, blah blah blah, take the bounty rune while this one is healing. When he heals up, I do the same thing again. I press on him shift and add him to the group. Alright, you need to control and 2 to make the new group again, to override the old one basically.